A shift is happening. A veil is lifting, and for the first time in what feels like an eternity, clarity is breaking through. The illusions that once kept us sedated, the passive drifting through life, the overwhelming waves of emotion that clouded our judgment, one by one, they are dissolving. What's taking their place isn't just a fleeting sensation of awareness, but a force, raw and undeniable, that pushes us to act before doubt has a chance to creep in. This isn't merely a change, it's an awakening, a transformation that will alter the very fabric of how we think, feel, and move through the world. Neptune, the great cosmic dreamweaver, is stepping out of Pisces and into Aries, marking the beginning of an era we have never seen before. The last time this happened, the year was 1861. Imagine that. The modern world as we know it. Technology, the internet, globalized communication, scientific advancements. None of it existed then. Now, as Neptune once again leaves the deep mystical waters of Pisces behind, we are stepping into uncharted energetic territory, a place where instinct and action take precedence over daydreams and illusions. For over a century, Neptune in Pisces encouraged escapism, spirituality, and emotional depth. It blurred the lines between reality and fantasy, making it easy to get lost in nostalgia, dreams, and illusions. But that time is over. We are entering an era where emotions will no longer be something we passively experience. They will become fuel for movement. Neptune in Aries is not subtle. It is a firestorm of energy, a cosmic ignition switch that will push humanity out of its passivity and into action. Even now, before the shift is fully realized, you may have noticed it. Perhaps you've been waking up before your alarm, jolted awake by an inexplicable sense of urgency. Maybe you've caught yourself making decisions faster than usual, reacting instinctively rather than hesitating. This is no accident. The shift is already in motion, subtly rewiring the way we function on a fundamental level. Pay attention to those around you. The way people speak, the way they hold themselves, the sudden intensity in their emotions. It's all changing. There's a new sharpness in the air, a restlessness, an impatience. Where once there was a fog of uncertainty, now there is fire. Those who are spiritually attuned have felt this shift coming for some time. They've sensed the tension rising, the undercurrent of transformation building beneath the surface, and when Neptune finally settles into Aries, this energy will become undeniable. Most will not see it happening until they are already in the middle of it, shaped by it, changed in ways they can't explain. And yet, there will be those who understand, who recognize that this is not just another astrological transition, but a moment of historical significance. This is the kind of shift that rewrites the way humanity operates. The way we love, the way we fight, the way we build, destroy, and rebuild. Everything is about to be infused with a new level of intensity and purpose. The illusions are fading. The dreaming is over. Action is taking its place. The question now is not whether you are ready, because readiness is no longer a choice. The fire has been lit, and there is no turning back. This is more than just a shift. It's an activation, a profound energetic upgrade that will reshape the way you perceive and interact with the world. From this moment forward, the way you navigate life will never be the same. If you've been under the impression that this is just about astrology, think again. What's unfolding now goes beyond planetary movements. It's a transformation of consciousness, an awakening of perception that will redefine your reality. Have you ever felt that the universe was trying to communicate with you, not through words, but through actions? A stranger brushing past you with urgency, someone coming to a sudden halt as if halted by an invisible force, a friend's nervous tapping that stirs something deep in your intuition. These moments, once fleeting and unnoticed, are about to become amplified. The world is beginning to speak in a language of movement, and if you tune in, you'll hear it louder than ever before. Neptune, the planet of mysticism, illusion, and hidden meanings, has long governed dreams, symbols, and the subconscious. But now, as it moves into Aries, those intangible messages take on a new form, one rooted in motion, instinct, and action. You will begin to recognize the energy behind every hesitation, every subtle shift in movement, every seemingly random gesture. What once felt like background noise will now stand out as meaningful. The universe is alive with signals, and suddenly you will understand that every movement carries a vibration. Every action emits a frequency. The invisible threads of connection will no longer be hidden. They will pulse before your very eyes. And this awakening isn't just something happening outside of you. It's happening within you too. Your own body will begin to align with this energetic shift. You may notice yourself moving with greater intention, drawn to certain places without knowing why, guided by an instinct that defies logic but feels undeniably right. This is your intuition evolving, your connection to the unseen forces of life, becoming stronger. You are stepping into a new state of being, one where your body and soul move in harmony with the unseen currents shaping your path. But this is only the beginning. Neptune in Aries is a rebirth, a cosmic ignition that sparks something deep within the core of your being. Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, represents new beginnings, raw energy, and the primal force of life itself. Do not be surprised if one day you wake up feeling like a completely different person, as if you've been reset, reborn, and set on a new course. The past 14 years of Neptune and Pisces were about surrender, deep emotions, and dissolving boundaries, a time of floating in the vast ocean of the subconscious. But now it's fire. Now it's movement. Now it's action. This is the hunger for change, the restless energy that pushes you forward, the inner rebellion that refuses to stay confined. It's a call to break free from what has held you back, to burn away illusions, and to step boldly into a future where you are more awake, more attuned, and more alive than ever before. The world is shifting, and you are shifting with it. So pay attention, listen closely, and most importantly, move with purpose. The journey has just begun. There's an undeniable shift in the air, a crackling energy that feels both exhilarating and unfamiliar. It's not just a passing mood or a fleeting burst of inspiration. It's something deeper, something ancient, something awakening within you. You might find yourself acting more decisively, moving with a confidence you haven't felt in years. There's a fire inside you, one that refuses to be tamed, but unlike reckless impulses of the past, this time it's infused with wisdom. It's not just a rush of adrenaline, it's a surge of clarity, an alignment of intuition and action. It's as if the boldness of youth has merged with the knowing of an old soul, creating a version of yourself that is fearless but also profoundly aware. If you can learn to harness this energy, it has the potential to transform every aspect of your existence. It's like unlocking the secret to renewal, not just spiritually, but mentally and even physically. The tiredness, the weight of doubt, the fog of hesitation, all of it is lifting. And in its place, there is a sense of purpose, a knowing that you are not just alive, but fully awake. Think of it like fire in the hands of a master alchemist. If left unchecked, it could consume everything in its path. But when directed with intention, it becomes a force of creation, a tool of transformation. For too long, Neptune and Pisces softened the edges of reality, blurring boundaries and making emotions feel like an ocean with no shore. Many wandered through life feeling lost in waves that weren't even their own, carrying burdens that were never meant to be theirs. But now, the tides are shifting, the mist is clearing, and for the first time in what feels like forever, you can see, truly see, yourself and the world around you with sharp, undeniable clarity. That feeling you've had lately, the sense that you just don't care the way you used to, it's not apathy, it's liberation. The dramas that once entangled you now seem insignificant. The opinions that once weighed on your spirit no longer hold power over you. The emotions that used to overwhelm you are dissolving, like chains slipping from your wrists. And here's the truth. You were never meant to carry those chains to begin with. This isn't about becoming cold or detached. It's about stepping into a new kind of strength. The era of waiting, of second-guessing, of drowning in uncertainty is over. Neptune in Aries isn't about surrendering to confusion. It's about cutting through it, like a blade through smoke. It's about becoming spiritually resilient, immune to the distractions that once derailed you. The fire within you is no longer just a spark. It's an inferno of purpose. And this time, you're not just surviving the flames, you're becoming them. This kind of transformation isn't something anyone prepares you for. It doesn't arrive with flashing signs or a dramatic turning point that makes everything suddenly clear. Instead, it sneaks up on you, quietly, subtly, like the moment before dawn when the world is still dark, but something inside you knows the sun is coming. There's no grand declaration, no sudden enlightenment, just a shift, small, yet seismic, like a switch flipping in your mind. One morning, you wake up, and something inside you has changed. The burdens you once carried, the relentless overthinking, the stress that kept you up at night, the endless cycle of worrying about things you can't control, suddenly feel foreign, like they no longer belong to you. And the strangest part, you don't even fight to hold on to them. At first, it feels unfamiliar, even disorienting. You've spent so long wrapped in worry, tangled in expectations, that their absence feels like a loss. You catch yourself wondering if you should care more, if you should feel the way you used to. But you don't. And as unsettling as that is, it's also the most liberating feeling in the world. Because for the first time in what feels like forever, you are experiencing life on your own terms. Not through the lens of obligation, not through the weight of external pressure, but through the clarity of your own desires. This is where your true power begins to surface. It's not about detachment or indifference. It's about discernment. You're not losing your ability to care. You're finally learning what is actually worth caring about. And once that shift happens, once you reclaim your energy and direct it with intention, everything begins to align in a way it never has before. But this is just the beginning. The way you move through life, the way you create, the way you bring your dreams into reality, none of it will ever be the same again. Manifestation is no longer just about believing, hoping, or waiting. It's about movement. It's about stepping forward with purpose, about daring to meet your dreams halfway instead of waiting for them to find you. For the past 14 years, Neptune in Pisces taught you surrender. You learned patience, trust, and the art of allowing. You were guided to lean into faith, to believe that things would unfold as they were meant to. And for a time, that served you. It softened you. It prepared you. But now, that phase is over. The passive approach, the waiting, the dreaming without action, it no longer works. This is no longer the era of quiet manifestation. This is the age of fearless creation. The energy has shifted, and it demands more from you. Neptune in Aries does not whisper. It roars. It does not wait. It ignites. It does not hope. It demands. This is a time for bold steps, for decisive action, for proving to yourself and the universe that you are ready to claim what is yours. The vision board was useful once, but now it is merely a relic of a different time. The battlefield has arrived, and you are being called to step onto it. Not as a spectator, not as a dreamer, but as a force of nature. Before you trusted the process, now you are the process, and that changes everything. This shift will feel unfamiliar at first, as if you're stepping into a new reality where the old rules no longer apply. What once felt natural, setting intentions, trusting the universe, allowing things to unfold in their own time, may now feel sluggish, ineffective, or even frustrating. The flow you once relied on might feel blocked, not because the universe has turned against you, but because it's demanding something different from you. Neptune in Aries is a firestorm, an awakening, a call to action that can't be ignored. It won't allow you to sit passively, waiting for divine timing to align in your favor. Instead, it's making you the force of divine timing itself. You won't just think about your desires anymore. You'll feel them rising in your chest like an ignition spark, compelling you to move before your mind even has time to process the shift. A sudden boldness will overtake you, a willingness to take risks you would have once dismissed as reckless. The old paradigm of trusting the flow gives way to something far more visceral, the raw, undeniable urge to act, to create, to push forward even when you don't have a perfect plan. And the moment you embrace this fire, reality will begin to shift. Not through passive faith, but through the sheer force of your movement. This is manifestation in its most potent form. Not a whisper, but a roar. Not a gentle alignment, but an unstoppable forging of destiny. The universe is no longer asking you to wait for signs. It's demanding that you become the sign. Every moment you hesitate, you will feel the pressure mounting within you, urging you to step forward, to claim what is already yours. This isn't about hoping anymore. It's about deciding, about knowing, about embodying. Because the truth is, this is the most powerful era of manifestation in over 150 years. But it won't coddle you. It won't gently guide you toward your dreams. It will challenge you, test you, and demand that you rise to the occasion. Those who wait for permission will be left behind. But those who dare to act, who step boldly into the fire, will find themselves unstoppable. This is the energy of Neptune in Aries, unapologetic, undeniable, and absolutely magnetic. And when you surrender to this momentum, you won't have to chase your dreams. They will begin chasing you. Remember when I said waking up right before your alarm means something? Well, let's go deeper into why. This isn't just about productivity or routine. It's about spiritual precision, about something greater aligning within you. For years, Neptune in Pisces softened the edges between dreams and reality, creating a world where sleep felt like a sanctuary, an escape into something fluid and formless. In that era, waking up felt like swimming to the surface from the depths of the subconscious, slow and meandering, as if the boundary between night and day was barely there. But Neptune in Aries? That's a different force altogether. Aries doesn't wait. It doesn't linger in the twilight between sleep and consciousness. It ignites. It takes charge. It pulls you into the present like a spark setting fire to dry wood. And if you've been noticing yourself waking up just moments, seconds, before your alarm, that's not just a quirk of your sleep cycle. That's your spirit taking the reins. Think about it. Neptune governs sleep, dreams, the ethereal. Aries governs instinct, action, and immediacy. When these forces intertwine, something incredible happens. Your internal rhythm begins to anticipate rather than react. You're not just waking up on time, you're waking up ahead of time. This isn't about alarm clocks or schedules anymore. It's about alignment. It's about a shift in perception, in energy, in the way your consciousness interacts with time itself. It's subtle at first. A fleeting moment where your body stirs just before the mechanical chime of your alarm, like a whisper in the dark nudging you awake. But the more it happens, the more you'll feel it. This isn't coincidence. This is something deeper. It's proof that you're syncing with an unseen force, that your awareness is sharpening beyond the ordinary. And it doesn't stop with waking up. You might start noticing it in conversations too. Words will carry more weight, but not because of what's being said, because of what's left unsaid. A sentence will land differently. A glance will hold meaning. Suddenly, it's not just about listening, but hearing. Not just observing, but knowing. It's the difference between reacting and anticipating, between waiting for the world to call you awake and realizing you're already there, between dreaming and becoming. This shift won't happen every single morning, nor will it always feel obvious. But for those attuned to it, the sensation is unmistakable. A reminder that your spirit, your instincts, your deeper self is moving ahead of time itself. And the more you trust that, the more you'll begin to see it everywhere. Neptune's journey into Aries marks a profound shift in the way we perceive and process emotions, communication, and truth itself. For years, Neptune in Pisces wrapped the world in a misty haze. Emotions were deep but often elusive, tangled in illusions, half-truths, and the quiet comfort of uncertainty. It was an era where feelings were vast, yet difficult to fully grasp, where intuition whispered but was often drowned out by the soothing lull of ambiguity. People could live in dreams, in hopeful fantasies, in the spaces between reality and illusion. It was a time of spiritual connection, but also of escapism, where avoiding the full weight of the truth felt easier than confronting it head-on. But with Neptune stepping into Aries, the fog is burning away. The veil that once softened reality is lifting, and what remains is raw, unfiltered clarity. Conversations will no longer be simple exchanges of words. They will become revelations. The way people communicate will change, not because their words will be different, but because the energy behind them will be impossible to ignore. The truth will no longer be hidden between carefully chosen phrases or masked behind social niceties. Instead, it will emerge in the silences, in the hesitations, in the subtle but unmistakable energy that lingers between spoken words. You'll feel it in the moments when someone's voice says one thing, but their entire being tells another story. When frustration, sadness, or passion seeps through even the most composed sentence. When someone insists, "I don't care," but you can sense, deep in your bones, that they care more than they would ever admit. This is beyond ordinary intuition. It is an enhanced, almost primal awareness that cuts through pretense like a blade. It is the gift and the challenge of Neptune in Aries. The inability to ignore what is real. This shift isn't just about individual perception. It is unraveling the very foundation of how people interact. The old ways of communication, where words could be carefully curated to hide true emotions, are becoming obsolete. Masks that once fit so well are beginning to crack, their edges fraying under the weight of undeniable authenticity. The words left unspoken will soon be louder than the ones that are. And at first, this heightened awareness might feel disorienting, even overwhelming. What do you do when you hear something that was never actually said? How do you respond when someone's truth is pouring through their energy, while their lips speak a different story? Neptune in Aries does not arrive gently. It does not soothe or comfort. it ignites. This is not an era of passive understanding, but of undeniable recognition. The truths that were once easy to ignore will stand before us, demanding to be acknowledged. The era of illusions is fading, and with it, the ability to settle for half-truths or comfortable lies. The coming years will be a time of radical honesty, of stripped-down authenticity, of seeing not just with the eyes, but with an inner clarity that cannot be silenced. The world is shifting, and in this new reality, only what is real will remain. You used to make space for the misaligned, convincing yourself that discomfort was normal. You endured the job that drained your energy, the relationship that no longer nurtured you, the routine that dulled your spirit. You silenced that quiet, persistent whisper deep within, the one that told you something wasn't right. You rationalized, compromised, and adapted, believing that if you just held on a little longer, things would change. But they didn't. And now, you can't ignore it anymore. Neptune's shift into Aries is not just an astrological event. It's a spiritual ignition. It's a cosmic force stripping away illusions, dissolving false narratives, and burning through the masks you've worn for too long. The distractions that once numbed you no longer work. The things you once tolerated now feel unbearable. The weight you carried, the expectations you conformed to, the stories you told yourself, they are all unraveling. Your soul, once patient and subdued, is no longer willing to wait. It's restless, urgent, calling you to something greater. This transformation isn't soft. It doesn't come with a polite warning. It doesn't ask for permission. It pushes, it demands, it insists. It's forcing you out of the old, the stagnant, the safe, and into the fire of something raw, something real, something undeniably yours. You are not falling apart. You are breaking free. The question is, will you finally listen? Because if you do, if you truly hear what your soul is telling you, then everything changes. The life you've settled for is not the life you're meant to live. The path ahead is uncertain, but it is alive, pulsing with possibility, with truth, with the unshakable knowing that you were made for more. If these words resonate, if you feel this shift deep within, know that you're not alone. Share your thoughts, your experiences. This journey is not meant to be walked in silence. And if you seek more guidance, more insights, more truth, stay connected. Your support, your presence means everything. Until next time, trust the fire within and let it lead you home.